This week's creative writing prompt. Remember, you can access more notes, ideas and extension tasks through the blog, which is wordsmithcreativewriting.blogspot.com. So our prompt this week is 67. Describe a pair of your childhood shoes. What memories do they evoke? Now, this prompt has a similar route to the reflection task we did a couple of weeks ago, but instead of creating a character from a reflection of us now, we're building ideas from the seed of the person we were in our childhood, which is more interesting creatively because a seed may develop into many different new ideas. For the starter task, we need to find these childhood shoes. If your parents are the sentimental type, then they may have kept your first little booties. Some people have them coated in copper as an ornament. You might need to dig through baby photos. Or, and this is a technique I think we should use, you can remember your first pair of shoes through a little bit of meditation. So I'm going to flip to a black screen here. If you have a pair of shoes, I want you to follow along and try and remember what they felt like to wear. If not, just go with me for a minute. So shut your eyes and let your mind drift. This is a little gentle meditation to help you focus your attention. I want you to sit comfortably upright with your feet on the floor. Take long, slow breaths in. Hold for 3 seconds, then slowly let it go. In for 6. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Just breathe and allow your mind to empty. Now turn your attention to your feet. Slowly flex your toes. Roll your ankles and press your soles to the floor. Now send your mind back and think about the first sensations you can remember from your feet. Heavy, new, firm shoes or soft knitted booties. Heavy or light? How did the world change when you first wore shoes? In all likelihood, you won't remember the very first pair, but there should be useful memories bubbling around if you just focus on the sensations in your feet. So stay here in this memory for a minute or so, then I'm going to count down from 5. As soon as you open your eyes, I want you to write down everything you can remember about wearing your first pair of shoes. You don't need complete sentences, just thoughts, sensations and impressions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Write down your thoughts and impressions, first memories you have of wearing shoes. Take about 5 minutes. So, picking out sensory memories from a mildly focused meditation is a useful technique. It should only take a couple of minutes to spark a sensory memory that you can take and build on. These are the impressions that I've picked up. Cold lying out on bare feet, flexing toes, dodging away from grabbing hands, caught and crying, thick socks pulled on, scratchy fabric, weight on my feet tight around my ankles, stomp, 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 noisy Velcro, push and squeeze, kicking heel to lever them off, socks pulled from the toes and flung away. With this meditation, I've been able to recall a little scene with the physical sensations from when I was around 3-ish, I think. Whether this is entirely a memory or partly reconstructed from family tales and experience with other children, I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Creative writing comes from different sources, both internal and external. To develop this idea, I want you to do the same thing with your favourite shoes now, or a pair you imagine in your future. Describe the sensations of finding the right fitting or of wearing them. Do they feel the same as the ones you remember? Have your opinions changed? Keep thinking about movement and sensations and stick with your feet as much as you can. I'm going to include a selection of sensory words on the blog to help you. Take 10 minutes. By now you've got 2 very rough impressions of shoes, and now we're going to expand on these ideas to create a poem. This kind of specific sensory writing works really well as an evocative poem. So this poem doesn't need a particular structure or rhyme unless you want to take it as a challenge. So this is what's called free verse. No structure, no rhyme, no rhythm. But you should still use interesting and emotive language. So write 2 stanzas or verses that reflect each other to create a contrast between the shoes of childhood and the shoes of adulthood. Aim for 2 stanzas of 10 to 15 lines each. And take some time to really craft and choose your words. Take a good 10-15 minutes. So before I read you my poem, these are the reflection questions for this week. I did or did not find the mini meditation useful. I think that the best part of my poem is because something I struggled with was, so next time I will. So classic reflection questions, really. Now I've given this a working title, First Shoes, My Shoes. I think it needs a bit more work generally, but I'm happy with it for the minute. Cold line out on bare feet, flexing toes, laughing and dodging away from grabbing hands, caught and crying, worm wriggling, thick socks pulled on, scratchy too hot, weight on my feet, dragging down each step, tight around my ankles won't shake off, stomp, 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 noisy velcro peels off one hook at a time, push and squeeze, kicking heel to leave it off, sudden freedom, socks pulled from the toes and flung away like doves, cold line out on bare feet, flexing. Kick away an everyday trainer, perch and pull on sensible socks, point toes like a ballerina and slide into cold stiff leather that doesn't quite give, lean forwards, lean down, mash toes into the point, heel reach grips the ankle, no. Push and squeeze, kicking heel to leave it off, flexing freedom then point for the next, tight fit but not too tight, room to flex the toes, stand and march an awkward aisle's length, boot to trainer to boot, turn on the heel and flex, feel the leather give, yes.